Hi features, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. It's Monday and you know what that means. It is time for us to dive deep into the a-holes. It is that weekly segment where we take a look at the subreddit, Am I the a-hole? Why? Because it's a little bit of fun, it's a little bit of juicy drama. We can hopefully help a couple people out, either OPs themselves who have posted this or people in similar positions, and we can expand our own mindsets along the way. I love it. Do you love it? I love it. Alright cutie pies, before we dive right in, I have a huge announcement to make. It's very important, and it is in the name of charity. It can be free or it can be a donation of 99p. It is entirely up to you. I just ask you to do one of these things. This video that you are watching right now is, if I've got my timings right, gonna go up on the 18th of December. That is the week before Christmas, and it is also the week, I cannot believe I'm saying this, where me and a bunch of other creators have released a Christmas single. Now, as you might know, every year people come together, huge groups of people, different groups of people, to raise money for charity. And this year, Creator Universe, which I'm very grateful to be a part of, have recorded a cover of I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. Do you know, when I first listened to that, I didn't get it. I was like, I don't want it to be Christmas every day, but Norma, the granny of TikTok, the granny of the internet, explained it so beautifully in the intro to the song. It's the giving of Christmas that we want to replicate every day. I love that. I love it so much. We had so much fun filming and recording at the iconic Abbey Road Studios. I cannot believe I had a chance to record there. Had to do a solo. It's the first time I've ever sung in front of other people who aren't Jamie or my producer. It was so intimidating. It was incredible and terrifying, and have a little solo line along with a bunch of other creators. My gorgeous friend Lucy took part, the wonderful Jamie took part, and it is all in the name of charity. We are here, we are doing this for the Trussell Trust so that we can help feed families this Christmas. That is a very important thing to do, especially in light of the cost of living crisis, especially in light of all the madness that is happening in the world. And this is the bananas part. I cannot believe I'm saying this. We actually have a chance of being Christmas number one. The Christmas number one on the official UK charts. I can't quite believe it. It's incredible. It would mean so much. And you supporting us with that aim of getting to Christmas number one also means every single penny you put towards it can be spent helping to feed families this Christmas. So I'm gonna leave a link, quite possibly the most important link, downstairs in the description box. I would love it, love it if you wouldn't mind buying the song. I say buy, you can stream the song too. It's everywhere. It's on Spotify. I'm pretty sure it's showing up on my Spotify at the moment too. You can go and take a look at our Christmas single, and you can stream it for free. If you can't donate 99p, please stream it for free as many times as you can. The reason I'm specifically asking if you are able to, for you to donate 99p, is because one sale is the equivalent of hundreds and hundreds of streams. It makes a very big difference in terms of how much you're able to support. I think 99p, I don't know about you, I'm obviously speaking from a privileged position, but 99p makes less of a difference to me than the amount of support that paying for 99p would be compared to streaming it, unless you're able to stream it hundreds and hundreds of times. But honestly, I would be so grateful for both, for either. If you're please able to support the Creator Universe cover of I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, we could be doing a whole lot of good, and I'm so excited at the prospect. I will keep you updated. Check out my Insta, check out that link below, and please support the song. All right, with that out of the way, I'm feeling so hyped. Are you ready to go fishing for some a-holes? Let's go. It's a Christmas edition, by the way. How could it not be? We are the week before Christmas and all through the house not an a-hole was visible. Let's see. Am I the asshole for telling my parents that my kids won't attend Christmas if everyone can't attend? Ooh, this one sounds complicated. Okay, my husband was injured when we were in high school almost 18 years ago now, and he uses a wheelchair. We've got 4 children, his 15-year-old son from a previous relationship, and an 8-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old son, and a 1-year-old daughter. Wow, the age gap. That's very similar to the age gap that I have with my siblings. It's really interesting. My parents usually host a big Christmas every year with all of the kids and their families. Sometimes it's at their home, and sometimes it's at a vacation destination. Ooh, bougie. I don't think I've ever been away for Christmas because it's been holiday, you know? That sounds incredible. That sounds really cool. In my head, I'm envisaging a giant chalet, you know, in the skiing mountains and lights and abundances of food and fires that you can go and pick logs up for. Let's just read the story. Yeah, okay, we'll read the story. In previous years, it's always been accessible for my husband, but this year they've chosen to have it at a mountain ski resort that is largely inaccessible and would have lots of activities that would leave my husband out. So we told them that we were going to do our own thing for Christmas this year. No biggie, right? Did you give them the opportunity to change? That's like my one question. I hear you. So every year you do something with your family. Normally it's accessible. This time they've done something that's not accessible. It may not be conscious, but it's still not fantastic. But my thought would, I think, be anger first. I'd be like, a bit frustrated, a bit annoyed that you haven't, foreseen this, because husband is part of the family, Like, I think it's important when you are hosting, especially when you're hosting such close members that you do know the needs of, right? Like, I'm sure parents' family will be very well aware that the husband who uses a wheelchair is not able to use inaccessible places that are not suitable for wheelchair users. So yeah, I feel like I would be a little bit frustrated. I wouldn't be like, you're dead to me. Because, like, people make mistakes. That's fine. If you haven't thought about it, you haven't thought about it. But my first thought wouldn't be to be like, oh, sorry, we're just not going to take part this year. It would be to ask, hey, it's not accessible. Is there a way that we can make it accessible? Can we maybe change the location of the event? And if they say no, then to be like, well, it's totally fine. It's your prerogative. You hire the place. You get the place. I'm assuming this is how it's done. And money isn't split, in which case you do your thing and we'll do our thing. But that would be a plan B for me. Yeah. Anyway, let's read on. They responded with, well, how about you send the kids and you can do your own thing? Oh, great. Just walk this through with me. I have made a decision to host a place that isn't appropriate for the family. So my solution is to split up the family on Christmas. We responded that we wouldn't be sending our kids, and that if we couldn't all attend, then nobody would attend. They're upset and accusing us of withholding the kids from something that brings them joy and for being bad parents. Are we the a-holes? Pot kettle black, sir. How dare you say that Opie is a bad parent for wanting to keep the family together at Christmas when you are literally being a bad parent, not catering for your children's needs, one of which is in a wheelchair. Son-in-law, son, you're still a parent. That's not okay. That's what? What? No, my love. I don't think you're the asshole. Not even a little bit. Especially because you didn't kick up a fuss and you were like, cool, we'll just do our own thing. There didn't even seem to be any suggestion of an apology. That's what I'm expecting. Is they're like, oh, that's such a shame. Our bad. We'll definitely do better next time, even if we can't do it now, Let's see if anything like that existed. Not the arsehole, they plan something your husband absolutely can't attend and then expect you to send your children? That's ridiculous. Well, not the arsehole. Why on earth would you not spend Christmas with your kids? They picked a place unsuitable for your family and this is the consequence. Not the arsehole, then making the suggestion wasn't terrible. Other people could have looked at this as a chance for a romantic getaway with the husband, free from the stresses of a holiday. Your parents are free to spend it how they want. They extended an invitation, you're allowed to decline. The fact that they kept pushing you and you got upset that they didn't get their way makes them the arsehole. I actually really like this point, and I think that's a really important point to stress. Someone suggesting something doesn't make them an arsehole. And you're so right, like, it might be that for some people that's a really wonderful suggestion. Some people might really love the idea of being kidless for a Christmas, and I do agree that I don't think the grandparents were arseholes for suggesting, but they were arseholes for lashing out. And also for not showing any remorse, which I'm looking for info, I just can't seem to find anything to suggest that they did. So yeah, you're definitely not the arsehole, my love. And brownie badge, which I know may seem confusing to some people, why you're giving a badge to someone for not splitting up a family. The standards here are quite low on Am I the A-hole? You'll be surprised at the number of cases that we've looked at, right? Where I would not be surprised at all if what I saw was them going, well, I'm gonna spend it with the kids at the ski resort. Husband, you can spend it alone because you can't get there. That seems to be the parental pressure, the family pressure seems to get to a lot of people on Am I the A-hole? So yes, my love, you deserve a brownie for creating a cute... fist pump, for creating a cute little family unit. Let's do another. I don't think that was very spicy. I feel like that was very straightforward. Every time I say this, I feel like we jinx ourselves. That's not a good thing to do before Christmas. Okay. Am I the arsehole for not letting my friend bring her 2 children to our Friendsmas event? Oh, this is interesting. The last Christmas episode that we did seemed to all center around gifts. Now it seems to be about guest lists. Feels like the narrative of Christmas the closer we get. Like, everyone's worrying about presents, now everyone's worrying about people. Alright, I'm a 31-year-old woman, and every year I host a Christmas dinner for a small group of friends to all get together and celebrate. That is super duper cute. We do it too. We call it Friendsmas. I love it. Christmas used to be a very difficult time for me, and I do love spending time with my family at Christmas. it's just so divided. There's so many like different groups of people to spend it with. Whereas like I feel like my friendship group is probably the control freak in me too, right? I love the idea of hosting and having all of my friends together in one cute spot, you know, that I could be like, let me look after you. And I know we call it Friendsmas, but really they're my chosen family. I consider it another family Christmas. Yay, Friendsmas. We are all in our early 30s, says OP, and the majority of us don't have children. Of those that do, one had organised someone to take care of their child, and the other is a newborn who won't be leaving his mother's arms. Okay, so 2 have kids, 1 is actually coming, so it is going to be like a kid Christmas. You are going to have a newborn there. I know you're saying they won't be leaving his mother's arms, but like that's still a presence. They're still going to be crying potentially. There's still going to be disruption in terms of feeding, which is totally fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it seems relevant to note based on the title. Let's read on. The event has always been at my house, a smallish apartment. I've invited 16 people this year, and I've organised tables, cutlery, dinnerware, and space accordingly. It'll be a tight fit, however it's doable with some rearranging. I have exactly 16 dinner sets, as these were purchased weeks ago for the event. Wow, Opie's really going full out. 6 days prior to the event, a friend messaged me saying that she couldn't find a sitter for her 2 children, aged 6 and 3, and therefore her and her partner won't be able to attend unless they bring the children. I said, that's a shame, and left it at that. Ooh. Okay, I have 2 problems here. My first problem is, you said one had organised someone to take care of their child, the other is a newborn who won't be leaving his mother's arms. Is this another friend that you're telling us about? Because this person has 2 kids, so I'm assuming it's an additional friend. Okay, fine. I'm just going to roll with that assumption. And my second issue is they've presented a choice, right? They've gone like, hey, we can't find a sitter, therefore we can't come unless we bring the kids. So we can come with the kids or we don't come. And you've gone, that's a shame. That's not an answer. If I receive that text of being like, oh, that's a shame, without more to it of like, bring the kids, or as it's a kids-free event, like, no worries, we'll see you another time. Like, finish the answer. Show your workings out. 4 days prior to the event, so this is 2 days after the text, she messages again, stating that we should move the event to a different location so there's space for her to bring her kids. I said no, the event is organised and has been planned for over a month, and moving it at this date would be unsuitable. This is really interesting, because my head was like, how flippin' rude, how flippin' arrogant that someone has the audacity to tell you to move your event. But then I also went in my brain, hang on a second, in the Am I the Arsehole post that we just looked at, that happened. Like, and I was strongly encouraging, being like, hey, you should have told them to move the event. So where's the difference? I also find it really funny. Sorry, bad ADHD day, clearly. But I do find it really funny how these thoughts can happen in like the 2-second segment. That I was like finishing a sentence. It's brains are amazing. Anyway, I think I understand the difference. In the first one, Opie's husband was supposed to be at the event. That was supposed to happen, and the host failed to accommodate the needs of the guest list. Here in this scenario, Opie has very well accommodated the needs of the guest list and set the boundaries of what the guest list should be, but now a guest has been like, no, I'm adding more people and you need to change your event. That's why I'm finding it rude. Okay, all right. I'm glad I settled that with myself. Thank you, Shaaba's brain. It's all about the rules. It's all about the principles. She then says again, well, myself and my partner won't be able to come unless we can bring the girls. I was busy, so I didn't reply immediately. It's fine. You're not supposed to respond to texts immediately. It's one of my biggest qualms when people are like, why don't you text me back straight away? If you want an immediate answer, phone me or speak to me in person and ask me that question when you have me right there and I will answer. The reason we have texts and emails is because we can get to them when it is convenient to do so. I might have needed a poop. I might have had an emergency. My cat could be stuck up a chimney. So many things could have happened from when you sent that text that means that I am not able to respond lightning fast immediately. Don't be a naggy texter. She then messaged again with, so can I bring them? And I said I would let her know. Okay. That's fine. Maybe if you needed to think about it. I think that wasn't rude. I think that was okay. As mentioned, the apartment itself is quite small, so fitting an extra 2 guests at the table won't be possible. I could possibly give them seats outside on a small deck that I have. However, I haven't met these children. I don't know if that would even be suitable. Oh, so you haven't even seen the kids. For me, I'm just thinking if you have a friend and they're close enough to bring on a Friendsmas and they have kids who are, what are the ages? 6 and 3. Like, you've never met the kids in the 6 years of them having kids. Not a judgment, just a curiosity. I have discussed it with 2 other guests who have said that children of this age change the dynamic of the event substantially. It is true. And they aren't the age where they can entertain themselves. Adding to this that my house is not at all child friendly. They would have to bring your own plates, cutlery, cups, etc. I can see all of the reasons why it wouldn't be appropriate. I don't want to cause a problem in the friend group, and next year when a few of the group's children are older, I'll make the event more child friendly. However, am I the arsehole for not changing my event substantially with the 4 days notice right now? Oh, okay, interesting. I'm gonna say, what am I gonna say? I'm deliberating. Is that the right word to use? I think so. I'm deliberating between 2 badges. not the arsehole, or no arseholes here. Do you know what I'm really struggling with? I'm struggling because I feel like the story hasn't been finished. I feel like we haven't heard the reaction of the friend. When you told this to the friend, what did they say? Did they go, cool, and therefore we're not coming? Or did they go, we're not coming and you're an asshole for not allowing my kids to come? Because I think without that information, assuming they were like, okay, cool, and either came and didn't bring their kids and acted fine about it, or didn't go because they had to look after their kids and acted fine about it, I think the badge is no assholes here. That is my verdict. I do think that maybe the friend was like a little bit entitled, should I say, to think that like, oh, you should just change the location of your event because I am choosing to invite 2 people that you weren't initially intending to have. But I'm not sure if that qualifies calling somebody an asshole. I think it's fine to ask the question as long as you're respectful when somebody says no. But no, I don't think you're the asshole for not wanting kids at an event, because you're right, it does change the dynamics, especially because what you're saying is, you know, like your friendship group's growing older, a couple of them do have kids, and that's a consideration that you're going to take into the future, which I think is really cute. So it's all good. It's all good. I think no assholes here. And if there is an asshole, it wouldn't be you. What do you think, Peaches? Do you agree? Not the asshole, but getting close to becoming one because you're not dealing with the question. Tell her no clearly and unambiguously. You made the situation worse by not dealing with it in a timely way. OP actually responded to that and said, you're right, I'm an anxious people pleaser and I wasn't sure if I was just being unempathetic. To me as well, what I was understanding, especially from the like, I'll let you know, was that you were going to go back and like take a look to see, because then, you know, you're saying you assess your apartment and you could maybe put them on the deck. So it's like, I'll have a think, I'll see if I can make this work. And ultimately it was no. But yeah, definitely the first time when you were like, oh, that's a shame, like give an answer. But again, I don't think that qualifies an asshole label. You should have replied immediately instead of just letting it go. No, I totally disagree with this. This is a naggy text or response. If somebody wants an immediate reply, contact somebody in a way that means that you get an immediate reply. Not the asshole, and why could both of them not attend? He could stay home with the kids and she could come, or vice versa. That's true. OP did respond to this too and said, the friend said that it would be unfair as they are both our friends. This is the case. This is true. I see that. But at the same time, you are parents, and being parents means that you need to adjust your lifestyle in order to accommodate your family. And if that means that one of you has to make sacrifices, or both of you have to make sacrifices for not coming, that is a decision that you have to make, and you can't be sour at other people if other people are not ready for the dynamic change. You are the people that chose to have kids. You are the people that chose to have a family. Other people didn't choose to have this family presence in their lives, you know? All right, I feel like maybe the jinxing thing is a real thing, because that was slightly more difficult than the first. Let's read on. Let's see. Am I the asshole for asking my fiance to skip this year's Christmas family vacation because our baby is due? Ooh. This feels like a bit of a no-brainer to me, so I'm kind of confused as to why it's posed as a sentence. Let's see. I've gone to Florida with his family for the past 5 years for at least part of Christmas. Every other year I've returned before him to spend Christmas Day with my family. Okay, that makes sense. This year is the first time in a long time that all of the other siblings are able to overlap dates. My fiance has major FOMO, which is why this is a sensitive subject. His parents have always been weird about keeping their family close. They've never said it outright, but little things suggest that they don't consider me to be part of their family completely, since we aren't yet married. Interesting. I'm really grateful that some people provide this kind of context, because I think it really sets the tone. Like, there are 3 sides to every story: yours, theirs, and the truth. It's important to remember that. But at the very least, what this does is provide us with the mindset and the lens that OP is approaching this with. So just allows for a little bit more empathy, you know? Also, my parents are away overseas dealing with a grandparent emergency. I hope they're okay. My mum has been kept in the loop though and is trying to come back as soon as she can. Okay. My fiance and I, both 31, are expecting our first baby due December 30th. Cute, a Christmas baby. His family has a vacation home in Florida and they've gone every year during the holidays for about a month until after New Year. That's a long time. Whoa. The family go for a month? Could you imagine going on a vacation with your family for a month every year? That's a 12th of the year. I'm not sure I could survive a family trip for that long. Whoa. He agreed not to go this year because of the baby, but his family's insisting that he go and comes back on the 28th, which is ample time before the baby's due. 2 days before the baby's due date. I don't think that's very ample time. Is it your first baby too? First baby, so you have no idea if you're typically on time, late, early. 2 days. I would hate to be away from Jamie that close to the birth. Isn't this a time of nesting? You're supposed to be together and huddling and not allowing anyone in and being like, no, Like, oh, I'm very excited for that part of pregnancy. Anyway, so he bought a ticket for December 15th to the 28th. His reasoning is that his parents really want him there and his siblings will also be going. From what I'm understanding though, OP doesn't have a problem with you going. Maybe you go for 5 days this year. Go from the 15th to the 20th. Is there a way that... No, I guess pregnant wife cannot be traveling at this time. Maybe... How far is Florida? Where are you? I don't know, but like, is it possible to go for like a smaller amount of time? My thinking is if the parents are away and the fiance's away, like who's pregnant wife gonna have apart from unborn baby bump to spend that time with? I would totally understand it if it's like an unprecedented time where all of those siblings are coming together and he's got mad FOMO about it. Go for a small amount of time, but be back in time for the baby. Like go for 2 days, go for 3 days. I still think 5 days is too much. No, I know she suggested that, but like that close to the birth. No, let's read on. This is bothering me a lot more than I thought because I know pregnancies are unpredictable, especially in the last trimester. And if anything happens leading up to the due date, I need him there. My parents are away until the 26th and my friends have had their families, so I'll be completely alone. No! Could you imagine not spending Christmas together when like your wife is pregnant? It's like your last Christmas together. I don't know. Each their own. I personally find that a little bit odd. The other reason, and I guess it's more selfish, says OP, is that I'll be spending Christmas by myself. It's not the main reason why I'm bothered, but it is a small part of it. He's been spending Christmas every year in Florida since he was 15, and there'll be many more trips after the baby is born. I don't know why he has to go this year. I totally agree with you, and I want to call you out on something, OP. It's a very important message. You listen up right now. Come closer, come closer. It is okay to be selfish. I need you to know that. Everybody watching this video, being selfish is not inherently a bad thing. Acting in your self-interest is not inherently assigned a bad moral value. You are very entitled to ask questions that are in your self-interest, because you know what? Everybody else in the flipping world is doing that all the time. I'm not saying it's always good to be selfish, but what I'm saying is it's not always bad to be selfish. It is not inherently bad to be selfish. In this situation, if you're going to be alone on Christmas, when your husband is out with all of his family, your parents are away with the grandparents, all of your friends are away, and you're about to... You don't have to feel bad about wanting to have some company. Anytime I bring it up and results in a very uncomfortable fight about my expectations to put me first rather than his parents, whoa, hold it there, husband. I kind of feel like what you're saying is not just put you first, but primarily to put the baby first, which as an expecting dad, you kind of would just, this close, I'd expect to just be a given. I don't even bring it up anymore. His parents have always been kind to me, but they also don't see the problem. Am I going crazy? Am I the asshole? No! You are not the asshole, my love. You're so not the asshole. And I actually think this is one of those situations, I don't want to go Reddit. I don't mean to be like, oh, break up. It does bug me when that is a conclusion that is jumped to. But this feels like a really big decision. Let me rephrase that. This feels like a small thing, like one Christmas holiday, right? But the principle of it feels rather huge. It is prioritizing family, it's prioritizing your child, and it's giving in to family pressure. This is exactly what I was talking about in the first ones, you know, like giving a brownie badge, because so many times we see this family pressure affect people when they're therefore not making best decisions for themselves or for their immediate family. And this is family too, right? He's like, oh, you're expecting me to put you in front of my family. Hey, your wife is your family. This unborn baby that could be born whilst you're away is your family. I have a vibe here that maybe OP's husband doesn't like the idea of upsetting mum and dad and feel some kind of way, like some kind of family pressure that may have been conditioned, which is not his fault, but it's still his problem, and he shouldn't be taking it out on you. So you are absolutely not the arsehole. Are you kidding me? They're all leaving a pregnant woman alone on the holidays at the absolute end of her pregnancy. This isn't appropriate behaviour for your fiance, your partner, the father of his child. Of course, I keep saying husband and wife, but you're not married yet. That was a big part of your story. The fact that his family don't see you as being an integrated part because you're not married. I misspoke. I apologise. And it also really surprises me, like, even if the parents of your fiance, don't really think too highly of you, the fact that they could just objectively see a pregnant person and be like, oh yes, you should be alone on the holidays, and potentially even the birth of your child, because that's how close we're cutting it. Like, no. If I was OP's fiance's parents, I would be insisting that OP's fiance didn't come. I'd be like, son, stay home. Look after your partner. Because it's just the obvious thing to do. Your fiance's putting his personal happiness as a priority over you and your baby. I disagree. I think fiance's actually putting his other family's happiness as a priority. Maybe he's putting his personal need for non-conflict as a priority. This man's not ready to raise a child because he's still acting like one. Ooh, with how dependent he is on mummy and daddy. He's not husband material either. Not the asshole. Well, there we go. It was very harshly put, but I think in principle, I kind of agree with what's being said there. Fiance needs to have a big reality check and pull his socks up if he's going to be a good father to his unborn child. If he's like, oh, I want to go party with my other siblings, instead of making sure you come into the world safely. Like, that's not very nice. All right, let's do one more. Just before I do though, I know I've already said this at the beginning of the video, just in case you happen to miss it, I just want to remind you, because it's so important to me, please, that you take a look at the link downstairs in the description box. It is a link to support the creator universe, which I am a part of's cover this year of I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. It is a Christmas cover. 100% of all proceeds are going to charity, to the Trussell Trust, so that we can help feed families this Christmas. 99p is not a lot of money for a lot of people, so if you are able to give, I would so appreciate it, please, if you could order and buy the song. It's good. Promise, I love it, I'm in it. That's not what makes it good. I'm just saying, you should take a look. And if you are really unable to do the 99p, that's totally fine too. If you could support it by streaming it as many times as you can, I would also be very grateful. Thank you. All right, let's do one more. Am I the arsehole for saying no to dogs at Christmas? Oh, dogs. This seems to be quite a divisive thing. I feel the need to disclaim, I do like dogs. I like cats more. I'm a cat-dog person. I'm not cat person, I'm a cat-dog person. I do like dogs. So there's been a long-running tension in our family around my mum's dogs for many years. They're always badly behaved. Ooh. Some have been aggressive, and there's an expectation that we should just tolerate them when we visit. No, I'm sorry if your dogs are poorly trained to the point where they are aggressive and it's unsafe to be in that house. I just think you shouldn't be having visitors. You need to get that on lock. You need to fix it. You need to sort it out. If you can't do it yourself, you need to hire someone to help you to do that. Or you need to do the kind thing for the dog and you need to give the dog away to someone who is capable of handling and treating them. Because that aggression is not good for them either. They're not having a great time. They're being aggressive and they're acting out because they are unhappy. It's a lose-lose situation. It's not okay. Whoa, okay, let's read on. After I had children, I was no longer comfortable doing this. We didn't see her often as she lived 2 hours away, but when my kid was small, one of the big dogs started jumping up and nipping me on the shoulder. So then I refused to be in the same room or to let my kid near them. He was about 18 months at the time. The dog or the kid? I can't tell. It feels like an appropriate age for both a baby child and also a puppy. My kid is now 5 and I've got an 8-month-old. My mum recently moved back into the area and she's tried to have the dogs in the same area as the kids when we visited my grandma by keeping them on a lead, but they were barking at my eldest and he was scared of them, so I asked for them to be put in another room. That's such a shame. I really hope though that alongside this and like away from this, you are training your I'm in dog language, you know, like encouraging your child to not be scared of all dogs, because most dogs with owners are, you know, really lovely, beautiful little souls. And I was one of those kids that was grown up to hate dogs and to fear dogs, and they're just so cute. Like, you shouldn't. I was also so scared of cats. And I usually host Christmas at mine, as my grandma and my great aunt are almost 90. I can't really do a lot of cooking and organising now. Now that my mum's moved nearby, she's invited too, and she agreed a couple of months ago that it'd be okay for the dogs to come and stay in the car, which is a really large Range Rover, and we would take them for a walk after Christmas dinner. Okay, tiny flag, tiny like safety alarm bells ringing. I'm pretty sure it's like never okay to leave pets in a car, right? I appreciate that it's winter, it's not summer, but at the same time, like unless you've got the windows down in the car and you're visiting them like every half hour, if you're saying it's a large Range Rover as well. Okay, I'm going to leave that undecided because I feel like I don't know enough to comment on the situation. Peaches, if you know more about it, please do let me know in the comments below. Like, feel free to share for everyone to get some more context. Now she's challenged this, saying that the dogs would be cold, so I considered that they could come into the porch but not be in the house. My house is very small, by the way. We just have the porch, the living room, and the kitchen downstairs. That feels like a really good compromise. If they're in the porch, they're enclosed, they're safe, but they're not in a way where they're being aggressive to other people or, you know, at a chance of being aggressive to other people. I think that sounds great. And actually, I remember quite fondly, like little Christmas times where I had with my family and when I wasn't being absolutely petrified of the dogs when they were all like, you know, like really excited and jumping up. They're also big dogs. There was like a Dalmatian and a Great Alsatian, and they're beautiful. And I've, you know, over the years came to love them. But it took a while. It was a journey. But those puppas were often put in that little porchy area. You know, porches are still quite a decent size, and they had like water and food and a roof. It's just a good way to separate. It's cute. I like it. Good idea. OP says, I feel like it's going to be stressful enough having 2 small kids and doing the Christmas dinner. Totally fair. In addition to this, my husband dislikes the dogs, and my mother-in-law says that she was scared of them the last time that they were around. She almost called the police. Oh, so my hands are pretty tied anyway. I can see why. Okay, so they really are aggressive. I feel like that provides a really good context there. I told her that my rule still stands once, and she accused me of cruelty, saying that I look down on her, that I don't care about her feelings, and that I don't know what it's like to be her. Mum is currently living in a caravan on her friend's land. I feel bad for her, but I'm not sure what else I can do, and I feel like I'm always in the position of having to bend my own boundaries and make everyone else uncomfortable to suit her needs. Sounds like this issue is maybe bigger than the dogs, but I also feel like you're making the right decision. Point blank, bottom line, if there are other loved ones who feel like their safety is at risk, and you feel like your kids in particular are at risk, including an 8-month-old who cannot talk for themselves, just leave the dogs in the porch. Now my great aunt and grandma have said that if my mum decides not to come, they will not come either. As they don't think that she should be alone at Christmas. I'm really disappointed because I like making them a nice Christmas dinner and having them there with the kids, having a bit of fun and spending time together. I see that every Christmas might be the last for the older ones, and I try to make it nice for them. I'm so sad that Christmas has been ruined for half the people in the family because the other half don't want the dogs in the house. I'm pretty sure you've also said that it's who? Oh, mother-in-law has a problem with the dogs, not great aunt and grandma. Interesting. By the way, I'd be fine if the dogs were more placid and not scary. Yes, thank you for clarifying, but makes sense. Am I the arsehole for putting my foot down on the issue and ruining Christmas? Look, you have not ruined Christmas at all. And also, I feel like if great aunt and grandma are having a problem with mum not coming, mum has made a decision, then great aunt and grandma make their own decisions. It feels unfair for you to take that guilt, that brunt of someone else's decision. We might not like what great aunt and grandma are doing right here, but I think what they're doing here is avoiding an ultimatum, which I think is healthy. They're not putting the onus on you. They're not saying you must choose between the other family and our family. That could easily have happened where they're like, well, you know, it's mother-in-law and it's your husband, or it's your blood family. Like, what do you prioritize? They're not doing that. What they're saying is, hey, I respect your rules. You have these rules, and it's entirely up to us to decide if we want to come or not. We're going to remove ourselves from the situation if we don't feel comfortable without mum's presence. It doesn't have to be palatable. It doesn't have to be something that you absolutely love, but I still think it's respectful. So I just wanted to highlight that. I see the disappointment though, and like, you're really kind, I think, for like hosting Christmas and doing that. But the other thing that I will say is like, Christmas is just one day. It is one day, and I really think it should be treated as a season. So if on the day they can't come, maybe you can cook another meal, which I know is a lot of work. I'm not suggesting it's easy, but you want to provide a nice Christmas, another meal maybe at great aunt or grandma's house, where mum and dogs, but you're also not happy with the dogs. Okay, I see the problem there. But maybe where, you know, like the dogs can be out and you can do it in the caravan with mum and great aunt and grandma. I'm trying to think of compromises, do you know what I mean? But no, I don't think you are the arsehole at all. And you're certainly not ruining Christmas. You actually seem like a really good egg doing so many things and taking in the considerations of so many other people. That would be my thought. Not the arsehole. Too many dog people insist on bringing their effing dogs everywhere. I feel like this is a bit more of a trend. There are two types of people in the world. There are people with dogs, or there are people who are like, goddamn dogs. I don't think people have a problem with dogs. It's just when dogs have like such an overbearing presence. I do kind of feel this, I have to admit. Not all the time, but like when people come and it means that you can only go to dog-friendly restaurants, or you have to stay at home, or you can't go out with friends, or when you are out with anybody doing like some sort of activity, you're limited to like 3 or 4 hours, because then they have to go back to the dog, which is fine. Like, to me, it's kind of like having kids, right? Like, it's a responsibility, and fine, if you want to sign yourself up for that, great, but not everybody does. And so other people are free to not want to do that too. So yeah, I've been noticing this sort of frustration at dog people a lot recently. Is there a reason that they can't leave their dogs at home? It's your house, you're allowed to set the rules. Yeah, why can't mum just leave the dogs in the caravan, even if it is for just 3 hours, come to the Christmas meal and then go back? OP says she lives in a caravan that's 2 hours away. Oh, and said that it's dangerous for them to stay there by themselves as they trash it. I thought earlier on OP said that they used to, but now has moved closer. Maybe I've misunderstood. Maybe there's something else going on I don't understand. But look, if you can't leave your dogs alone in a house, even for a short amount of time, in fear that they trash it, those dogs are not safe to be bringing to other people's houses. It's not okay. I definitely don't see a world in which you should be bringing these dogs into your house. Not the arsehole. It's unfair that your mother insists on bringing her problematic dogs. You can decide to not have dogs. People can decide not to go. I wouldn't go. Not the arsehole. Fair enough. Totally fair enough. All right. Okay. I feel like that one was a bit more straightforward, but it still makes me feel really sad. I feel bad that we haven't been able to come up with an idea that I feel like makes everybody happy, but then that is the people pleaser in me, because hello, drama! If you enjoyed this video, my loves, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'm going to remind you one more time, please, just in case, if you wouldn't mind, taking a look at the link downstairs in the description box and taking a look at the Creative Universe single. Fingers crossed we can raise as much money as we possibly can for the Trestle Trust. All right, I'll see you very soon. We're nearing Christmas now, aren't we? Be kind and have a great day. Bye.